There are over 90,000 registered real estate agents in Toronto alone, but I've still managed to make over $1 million per year consistently and become the top 1% highest performing realtor in this disgustingly competitive market. So today, I'm going to show you the 2 key things you need to do that are going to guarantee you become the top agent in your market, or really any market at all. So the first most simple thing you'll need to do to become a top realtor in a saturated market is find your niche and develop a unique value proposition so you're not offering the same thing as everybody else. Now, there's 2 key elements that make up your niche: your ideal client type and your go-to lead gen technique. First thing you should ask yourself is, what type of clients and market am I skilled in, experienced in, and passionate about selling to? There's many different elements that you probably have more experience and knowledge in. We want to and need to leverage that experience so people view you as an authority. This can range from first-time home buyers, investors, it can be a specific location where you grew up or where you currently live, but there's a lot of ways for us to narrow down what our niche is going to be. Property types: condos, detached, townhomes. We can also take it to certain neighborhoods. What communities do you have a lot of knowledge in or experience selling in? Certain demographics. What kinds of people can relate to you? Age, background, income level. And then we also want to establish our dream clientele. Do we like working with sellers in a particular location? First-time buyers? When I started and embarked on my career, I started by leveraging my existing network. But I quickly found that there wasn't a lot of 18-year-olds looking to buy property currently. So what I would do is I would ask to speak to their parents. And by speaking to their parents, I had a really good idea of what my target audience was. What I found was that when I could clearly define my audience, I could better predict what types of questions and what type of value I could offer. By specifically identifying investors, upsizers, and downsizers, I could craft a really detailed plan, a really detailed pitch, so it was almost pre-rehearsed or pre-planned. From there, I could anticipate what kind of objections I was going to receive, what kind of pushback I would get. The more specific you can get about defining your audience, the more specific your content and delivery of that content will be, and the better you can ultimately prepare as a salesperson for what some of that negative feedback or those objections are going to be. So obviously your niche comes down to what type of clients you want to specialize in selling to. But it also boils down to your unique methods of acquiring these clients. There's many different lead gen techniques. Some of my students make over $500,000 per year, and all their clients come from TikTok. Ultimately, their niche would be social media selling, providing value, and we've got a lot of content on social media specific. I've got other students who love cold calling or door knocking or putting themselves in the right positions to have those high-level conversations. However, this is all completely useless, and we won't stand out in a competitive market if we can't properly leverage our niche or our skill set, which I'm about to show you how to do in the second key step of becoming a top realtor, which is crafting your personal brand. Now, there's 2 key practices you'll need to implement to develop your personal brand. The first and probably most important step is becoming an authority on social media. It's like your social resume. In this day and age, we cannot ignore it. The biggest mistake realtors make is thinking they're doing such a great job on social media when all they're doing is posting pictures of their listings, their lifestyle, their dog, and their meal. Another big mistake realtors make is when they're trying to target home buyers and sellers, but they're posting content that relates to real estate agents. Who is your buyer profile? Where does your value stem from, and who is your content valuable for? So for example, right now I'm trying to grow my brand awareness in the real estate coaching space. That's why I'm currently making content that educates realtors, because realtors are my target audience. When I'm trying to grow my brand awareness as the top real estate agent in Toronto, I make content that educates people on life in Toronto, things that they will find beneficial that's going to make their home buying or selling process more simplistic. So this can range from even property tours, active listings, development plans, making comparisons of different Toronto neighborhoods, and basically anything I can do in a specific area that I'm trying to sell homes in, because I want my content to resonate with my specific target audience, and in order to do that, I have to make my output specific. The most important social media channel to use is YouTube, because it is the second largest search engine on the planet, second only to Google. If you're a realtor in Atlanta and you make a video about the perks of living in Atlanta, investing in Atlanta, whenever someone is looking up the benefits of living in Atlanta, your video is going to pop up and you'll be top of mind in terms of real estate for that potential home buyer. Now, finally, the second key to building a strong personal brand is really simple. You just need to be an active member of the community. So what does that mean? Aside from making content about the community that you're selling in, you also have to be present in the community that you're selling in. What do I mean by this? I mean that you've got to immerse yourself in that community. Get out there, grab a coffee, have a beer at your local watering hole. You've got to be active, you've got to be in the community, and you have to have your ear to the ground about what's to come. Also want to have a really good idea of what's happening in terms of restaurants opening up, dog parks getting converted into playgrounds, whatever the case may be. You can find events that are happening in your community. You can hop on Google, find your city or your town's calendar of events and see what's going on. Fireworks at the park, complimentary skating at the neighborhood community center, and you can just show up, talk to people, bring your cards, ask people what they like about the community. Now, when you're at these events, what is our goal? What do we want to do as realtors? Well, the ultimate goal with going to these community events is getting contact information. What do we have to do to get contact information? Well, we have to ask. In order to ask, we have to disarm the client. It is so easy when it's community events because we have things we can relate to our potential clients with in conversation. Where do you live? What do you like about the neighborhood? Thanks for coming today. Have you tried the ice cream? What do you think of the skating? Are the kids having a good time? There is so many factors when we know our client, when we know our customer. There's no lack of ideas to get past those walls and build on that know, like, and trust. So steps 1 and 2, get to know them, get to like them. That's just conversing. You gotta be a good conversationalist. Okay, so super simple. Step 1, show up. Step 2, talk about relating anything. Talk about what's happening. Just talk about what's going on. Where are you? What's going on? Are they having a good time? Get their walls down. And then you're gonna ask. You have to ask. A lot of agents miss out on a ton of business because they don't ask or they're not looking for the business. Once we get the contact information, that's where the nurturing starts. And I've got a ton of videos on the nurturing process. But what I want you to take away from here is getting comfortable with the ask. The timing of the ask is also critical. We ask too early, we get shut down, we're salespeople. We ask too late or we don't ask at all, we're missing out on business. Let's talk about the benefits of creating your own community events. I've got students that did a food drive during Thanksgiving, just this past Thanksgiving, and they ended up getting 4 listings. For what? For going around knocking on some doors, not asking for business, but asking for the opportunity to bring value. They went 3 times. One, they went and kind of sent letters and mail outs and said, hey, we're gonna be coming around 2 weeks from now to collect food donations. And they provided just brown paper bags, maybe cost 5 cents a piece. And to 150 homes in the neighborhood, they delivered these brown paper bags with a note that said, hi, we're here to promote a food drive. They went around and did this. They got a ton of interaction. They got a ton of donations. They said that we're going to show up in 2 weeks to collect these bags. We will knock on your door. If you choose to participate, we'll knock to collect, or if you want to leave it on your doorstep, we're happy to pick it up on your behalf, but we will be here on April 11th. Now, I said 3 times, it was actually 4 times, because a week later, they went by again to remind the neighborhood, hey, just a reminder, we're gonna be here in a week to pick up your food. The 3rd time was to pick up the donations. They got a ton of donations. There was about 25 homes that took part. Within a 150 home community, 25 homes took part. It was awesome. We collected the food, and then we went back a 4th time to thank them for their generous donations and ask if there was any way we could add value to them in their home buying or selling journey. Of those 25 participants, 4 of them were looking to sell in the next 6 months, and we generated 4 listings from a very low cost but high energy, high effort input campaign. For a very small investment, or really not at all, you can become a household name and almost like a local celebrity by hosting super hyper local community events. You can do a dog show, you can do an ice cream truck, a community potluck, a fireworks event, a street party. I love a garage sale. This one's found me a lot of success. So basically, you would orchestrate and organize a community garage sale to generate better results, right? 1 + 1 = 3. If one neighbor wants to host a garage sale, they may get X amount of viewers or X amount of people stopping by. But if you can set up some signs with your branding, community garage sale, and you get 9 or 10 people on the street to host a garage sale at the same time. Number one, you're adding value to the community. Number two, you have a non-aggressive pitch when you're knocking on doors and collecting community information, and you're adding a really huge degree of value because you're giving them something before you're asking for something. A lot of these ideas are inexpensive events. And think about the market. Think about the calendar. If it's April, let's do an Easter egg hunt at the local park. If it's Halloween, let's do a community candy giveaway. If we're around the holidays, let's do a charity gift drive and ask for donations of unwrapped toys or even food donations around Thanksgiving. Something I love to do is a quiz. Hey, I'm a local realtor, and I want to make sure that we are really fully encapsulating the value of where we are here. Would you mind taking 5 minutes, completing this survey, and emailing it back to me at this email address? That's all you have to do. What are your favorite restaurants in the area? What do you love about the location? What do you love about the people that live here? What are your 2 favorite things? And if you could improve one thing, what would you improve? What I actually did in a couple instances is I took the what could we improve pieces and I took them to City Hall on behalf of the residents. And I said, hey, these are some of the things that your community is concerned about. Is there something we can do to fix these things? I went to bat for the community, and it turned out 2 or 3 of their awesome ideas. One was updating the community benches. They were a little bit older and decrepit. Another one was garbage pickup, the frequency of garbage pickup in the pocket, not at the homes, but in the public areas. We ended up getting these things changed. We went back to the neighborhood and said, hey, thank you so much. Look at what you did. Your feedback was received and good things were implemented to make things happen. So thank you for being part of your community. We established ourselves as the go-to resource of information and community knowledge and events. And from there, we just kind of took control. Currently, we have 45% market share in the one community I'm giving examples of. 45% market share of a database of 250 homes. That's pretty cool. Turnover rate in that pocket is 6%. So you do the math. Now, no one does everything perfect. No one does everything correctly. But I guarantee that if you do implement all of these strategies on a consistent basis and you do it right in the execution, you'll be miles ahead of any realtor in your market. Now again, these habits take time to properly implement. You won't see results right away. This is not a get rich quick kind of business. If that's why you're in this business, get out now. We're building a foundation to build up from there. So if you want to speed up the process and learn how to become a top performing realtor in your market, then book a call with me using the link in the description below. And I'll see if I can help you get there quicker. Thanks so much for watching, guys. If you like this video, please make sure to subscribe because this entire channel is dedicated to teaching you how to stand out from the majority and become a real estate authority. So catch you on the next one.